Okay, seems we can start. So, hello everybody, and today the next topic that we're gonna discuss is deploy Sitecore to Azure uh, K8S or Kubernetes. So that's let me just tell something about me. So that's my name is Vadzim Papko, and I have been working as a chief .NET technologist at SaM Solutions. Also, that's I have been working as a Sitecore team lead consultant on in some solutions projects. So also I'm a mentor of the internal .NET labs and Sitecore labs. So, and as a previous speakers also, I'm a Sitecore MVP. So, and yeah, let's go further. So today we're gonna discuss about a little bit about Kubernetes overview, about Sitecore in Kubernetes, like benefits. We will talk about how to install the Sitecore in Azure kind of Kubernetes services like initially. So I will show a demo, and after that, so we will talk about the Azure DevOps continuous integration, continuous delivery, how we can configure it and use in the projects. So, and if we will have a time, so I will answer to question. So for the prerequisites, if we really would like to use the Kubernetes to deploy the Sitecore or others stuff, we need some a kind of tool to be installed in our local machine. The first one is Azure CLI. It's allow us just to quickly send communicate with Azure Cloud to get to be authenticated, to get some services and to push any commands. So the second one that's really neat is kubectl tool. So that's this is a mechanism provided by Kubernetes to connect to the cluster locally, for instance, locally, and also to send some commands to get to deploy, to get information, to reset, to bounce, at many other stuff. So just these two main tools. So, and my story, why I'm there really, and why am I talking about the Kubernetes and the Sitecore. So as you can see, this is pretty simple. In one project, so just recently, we saved money for our client, as he mentioned. So before we were running the Sitecore as a PaaS, platform as a service. So everything in Azure. And when we migrate from Sitecore 9 to Sitecore 10, and also we migrate to Kubernetes with the Docker containers. So he after that he calculated the costs per year, and he mentioned to us, guys, we really saved the money, and it's like, you know, that's really like $100,000. So we saved really. That's a really good one. So just moving to the Kubernetes in a Sitecore. So that's it's not only one benefit. There are some other benefits. It's also we can deploy with a zero downtime. We can really flexible manage all class containers in cluster. So that's really flexible and a good one approach. And for the high level architecture for the Kubernetes, so in general, it's just like, as you can see, the Kubernetes, it's orchestration, right? So it's one of the orchestration mechanism that allow to orchestrate containers such as Docker. So that's it's developed by Google, and the Kubernetes just a main master node, as you can see, and this master node contains the API server that communicates between all layers, the schedule just to deploy, to roll out, deploy pods, containers in that pods, control manager just to control some other nodes, user-defined nodes that we deploy our containers, and etcd, it's like a key value pair database, just where the Kubernetes just stored all settings. So, and also, as you can see, it's possible to put in a cluster in Kubernetes others working nodes, so that's as many as we would like, and also it could be Linux-based, Windows-based, and even though it's possible to run together different topologies, so it's a good one. And in that working node, for instance, you can deploy containers, and for the Azure Kubernetes, this working node, it's running Docker inside. It's called a kubelet and some kubeproxy, and it's allowed to manage pods, where in each pod we run a container and communicate with these pods. So that's like a high level. And as you can see, also there is a user interface. For instance, for the Azure, it's Azure portal that you can manage. And also you can use like a kubectl CLI tool. That's today I'm gonna also show you. So the main configuration files in Kubernetes, it's YAML-based files. So that's, as you can see, I just put some the major kind of configuration files. So such as deployment, service, for instance, job. So this is a YAML-based. So you can flexibly manage it. You can it's really logical. So yeah, that's a good one, and also there is a good documentation how to really manage. So this is like a template, right? Template for our future deployment to deliver to the cluster. So each configuration files contains has three the same parts. It's a metadata where we can put some naming labels, it's selectors, etc. Also specification. This is for each kind of template. You can manage predefined attributes that this kind has, so that you can put some relevant information. For instance, for the deployment, you can put which Kubernetes node you would like to deploy it, which container, image, version, etc., and also the status. So for the status, it's not user defined. So in general, developers just to manage all need two parts. It's a metadata and specifications. So that's for the status. It's Kubernetes themselves generated when you deploy something, and then you can using kubectl go to the open deployment, for instance, or others template, and you will see the status. So the status is just what's we have right now for our delivered stuff. For instance, is it okay or not, and some other stuff. So how to start with a Sitecore specifically, right? So there is a good link. It's Sitecore download. Today, nowadays it's open for every developer, so no needs any authentication. Just go and search appropriate version for the Sitecore you would like to ship. That's as minimum. That's Sitecore supports from Sitecore 10 and older. at newest version. So you need to download the container deployment package. It contains predefined templates and other stuff that's we can really easily start with that. And also the installation guide, it's a PDF document, how to really step by step to deliver to the cluster, and it's must have read before to start, because I really know some situations where developers just avoid this guide and just try to Google to search, and as really the developer has small experience with DevOps, so it's really a fun one, really. So that's this PDF file should be read before to start. So, and this is the first step. Really, I quickly can just to show this. Let me go to open this. So yeah, that's what I mentioned. For instance, this is installation guide that you need to really download and to read it. So that's all prerequisites and other stuff described and step by step how to deploy it. This the main document. Also, and as for the package that I mentioned, you need to. You can download it, and after that there is like two main folders. Compose, it's for the Docker Compose, just to deploy it locally in a container. We're not talking about it today. And K8S, so this is for the Kubernetes. You can also can choose your topology, and by default that's we have a structure that we really need. So that's later we will talk about this. So that's all the YAML templates and other stuff. So that's configured in folders. So that's a good one to use and to start to deploy your first Sitecore to Kubernetes. So, and there are the step number 2. That's we need to. That's it's not like a requirement. I mean, it's my choice how to. I just decided for me how to start, right? So that's step 2. It's for some stuff, for specifically for Sitecore, we for the production ready, we need to use third-party extensions such as search engine. We're using Solar, right? And for the Solar, we can use the search tags vendor. That's that's first thing you need to. For instance, for the search tags, is I really like. So you need to go to the search tags, get as minimum trial account, and spin up the first deployment. And in the scope of that search tags, you need to use search tags API just to get some relevant information. And let me quickly just jump in, and I will show you what I mean. So this is the search tags side that you can use. You can, as I mentioned, get a free trial or purchase the plan. And when you log in, so when you have possibility, you can spin up the deployment. So that's deployment, that's you have a unique number. So to run some other stuff in Kubernetes, you need before you need to get some other stuff, such as you need to get to the API key just to communicate with this. You also need to, on the right side, you can see my account label, just the generated name. So you need this guy, and you need to deployment just to configure it. And later we will show, I will show you. And so that's there is a direct link to the Solar, right? So let's go further. So that's the next step. We need to some others Azure infrastructure because we are going to deploy to the Azure. So what infrastructure? How to start? The first thing you need to have a subscription. This is the first one. Then you need to create a resource group. In a resource group, you need to create a SQL server. Just in the SQL server, you need to put Elastic Pool. Then we also need for the Sitecore Azure cache for Redis, for instance, container registry. It's a storage for the private Azure storage, container storage for the images that we're gonna to deliver, and also the Kubernetes services. It's called AKS. It's a cluster that's we need to spin it up. So I put some stuff there. Just to point you what's really because we are not going to spin up that's right now because it needs to have a workshop instead of like a meetup, right? So, but for the SQL server, for instance, make sure that when you manage the networking, you select, because by default it's switch off the firewall rules. So that's you need to put a yes, just to that's when we run initialization job from Kubernetes. So it needs to reach out to the SQL server. So for the Elastic pool, when we spin up the SQL, we can easily create Elastic pool inside. And for the cluster, for the Kubernetes cluster, you need to some more settings to put. And I'm sharing your user interface version, right? So it's also possible just to use Azure CLI tool and just to send a comment and create it if you're really familiar. But I would like for the initial infrastructure, I would like just to click a button, really. That's because it's more logical for me and understandable. So for the cluster, we need the first thing just to create a first master node. That's I mentioned at the beginning. It will be Linux based. You need to select a version for the Kubernetes. You also can choose some scalabilities, but it's not for the non-production clusters. You can select like each node, so that it will be enough, and disable the auto scaling because it's not need, and also just choose appropriate node size. Node size, what does it mean? In general, node it's like the virtual machine that's you're gonna run container inside. So that's generally when we're talking about node size, we're talking about virtual machine plan that's Azure provide for us. And it's also the cost. Yeah, that's make sure that you just select the appropriate one that's is minimum compatible with the Sitecore version. Also for the networking, you need to use Azure CNI. Just it will create a virtual network for us. And if you really spin up the container registry in the same subscription and and group, you can select in integration tab, you can select the container registry. If you have separate subscriptions, you need to run some commands because it's not really easy just to combine, just to make a connection between cluster and container registry. So, and when we really spin up the base infrastructure, let me just quickly also jump to the stuff. So for instance, right now, so I am in Azure, so I have like SAC Belarus resource group, right? And as I mentioned, I spin up the Redis, the SQL pool, the SQL and cluster registry, and the virtual network created automatically. So that's what we need the first steps, initial steps. And now let's go further. So when we are ready, so we can use Azure CLI tool, and we need to connect to the cluster from our local machine, and we can spin up we can put Azure account set subscription the command. Then we need to run the AKS get credentials command and put resource group name and cluster name just to be connected to the cluster. So when we are ready with that, so we can run like a cluster. Let me quickly also put I'm in a terminal in Visual Studio Code, and I'm already logged in, and I can create send kubectl cluster info, and you will see that we somewhere. Okay. That's we see that we in SaM Belarus our cluster it's running. We can start with some other stuff. So that we can deploy what we need. By default, it's in empty. It's just only one. We installed only one master node, and the next step we need to install Nginx Ingress controller. So by using the Helm chart, Helm repo Helm, it's for the because the majority of us it's the .NET developers. It's aka the Nugget package for the .NET framework, right? So that's it's also there is a open source Helm repository that's allow us to quickly install some stuff to the cluster without managing any templates, configuration files that I mentioned at the beginning. And the first thing we need to run a Helm repo at Ingress and Nginx. What's Ingress controller? In the Ingress controller, as you can see on my screen, it will create the load balancer. So it's a proxy that will communicate. It will have external API, and later we will point to that API our hosts that we're gonna to configure in the scope of the Sitecore. So in general, it's a proxy between all containers running in a cluster. So that's we need this Ingress controller. So in general, Ingress it's not only this one. So this is the famous one and probably the most stable one. So that's to install it. You need to from not from this slide, but from that PDF file. You can copy that's the Helm install command and to run it. Only one thing that's also Sitecore mentioned, there is like a proxy body size parameter that's by default it's like a couple megabytes. What does it mean? It means that this Ingress will reject if you will send through the API, through the HTTP request inside between, for instance, containers in the cluster, it will be rejected. So that's, and for instance, if we're gonna in a Sitecore, sometimes we upload the packages. So that means, that's the best one that's initially just put like a bit more. So that's, for instance, like 2000 megabytes, and will be, so that's will be enough. I already, just to save time, right? I already spin up this installed this cluster Ingress. So we can run a command kubectl. Let me just a bit zoom in. I think okay. kubectl get service, for instance. This the command that's show me. It will install. That's this stuff, and we can see there's a load balancer already there, and we have cluster API and we have external API. So That's when we're ready with this one, we can we need to so yeah, that's the validation. That's I already run one command. Also you can trigger some other stuff like a port deployments. We also will try a bit later, but yeah, that's when we validate, so we can go further. So for right now, we need to also to put another additional node to the cluster. It should be Windows based because we are talking about a Sitecore to run a Sitecore topology. So it's a Windows based images in a Docker containers. So that's we need to add additional node where we put our containers. So for the version, you can also choose as a previous one. For the node size, so we just using this size. It's 4 cores, virtual cores, and 16 gigs for the machine. And also for the deployment perspective, for the staging, you just need to one node. So that means one virtual machine will be spin up in that node. So I already yeah, that's when you done. So this is like a couple minutes to spin up. So you will see, for instance, let me also quickly show to demonstrate it. So this is our cluster that's already spin up, and here this is the whole panel that we can manage. And I can click a node, and here we can see that's already agent pool. That is the main node pool. That's where Kubernetes running itself. And also, as you can see, this is a Sitecore Windows node that's I just installed. And also that you can easily scale out this just to put some more nodes. So this is a good one. Okay, so let's, and also you can run a command just to kubectl, kubectl. So I like kubectl, that's everything you need to get. You need to just get node, and you will see that's already okay. It's randomically add additional names, but so you will see the version that is ready, and so it's we're ready to go further. So next step, so that's we have many settings configuration in Sitecore specifically, right? Some connection strings, license, certificates, passwords, etc., etc. So for the security, Kubernetes use like a secrets mechanism. It's 64 based coded string. That's it's that's Kubernetes safe inside. So that's secrets. It's our settings. That's the first thing we need to put to deploy all secrets. Let's jump quickly to that initial package that's I download, and I choose XM1 topology. That means we're just running 3 main stuff: CD, CM, ID, you know, right? So, and for the secrets, we have secrets folder here by the default. So that's the first folder, TLS. It's for the certificates, and other you can see just like text files that's already predefined and then mentioned and put in that package. So you can quickly go, and here before pushing it to the Git source control, you can put all stuff, license we need to just to also decode this file, right? And some other stuff you just put this as a plain text. So, but as I mentioned, do not push it to Git. So later I will show the solution how to do that. And there is in Kubernetes there is a good one just to do not deploy each by one. There is a customization configuration file. So this is specific. The customization is combines. We can combine all files together to deploy as a one command. And as you can see, this contains like a name, the secret name, and the files. For instance, we can combine for the database. We have many and some other stuff. Also, I just commented the certificates part because we don't need, and later we will return back to that one. So how many times I have? Okay, and let me just quickly navigate to my file. So okay, we need to in general to run kubectl apply car and put a folder secrets and okay, secrets something wrong, kubectl. Okay, let me I'm just put something wrong. Let me just probably I'm on that. Okay, so yeah, that's I know the issue because I'm on not that folder, right? So that's let me go here, copy relative path cd. Okay, and now that's we can try. Okay, one more. Come on. Okay, that's this one. Sorry guys, copy relative path, and here we go. CD. CD. Come on. Okay, was okay already there. Oh my gosh. Don't worry. Clear. And here we go. Just run. So and now I already before also put this secrets, and some of them are unchanged. As you can see, the Kubernetes really that's a smart guy. So that's it's track and it will only deploy what's really changed the value, and we can get secrets. And here we will see this the list of secrets and our secrets also that's before deployed. So that's because just to save our time, and since it's running out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go further and probably so that's secrets we deployed, the initial jobs we need. So by default, we installed only the SQL as an empty, and we need to, for instance, to run initialization job for each topology. So we need to run just to make it happen. So that's for this guy, we need to run. We have like init folder, and there is a SQL initialization. It's a kind of job, right? It's tell us which container, how it's called, and variables from secrets, and also there is a customization file. I committed the Solar for right now, and customization files tell us, okay, this file should be this name, image name. It's grab the container from image appropriate version from a Sitecore registry, as you can see, and deploy this template and make a magic. So and I need to just like to run this command kubectl apply init, and as you can see, the job just created. So that's every time the developer need to run, it's really fun one. This commands kubectl get pods. Pods, it's as I mentioned, it's abstraction where a container inside is running. This is a good one every time just to see the status of the Kubernetes right now. What we have Ingress, and we have like our image, the cluster just spin up that's new pod. It's called MySQL init plus generation hash part, and also, as we can see, it's ready, it's running. So, and how old this one, and we also can it's running. So that's we later check what it does. It initially create and spin up a databases in our Azure that we just put. So let's go further just to the next step, where we need the same for the search tags. Or for instance, for the Solar, there is also init job, Solar init, and for the search tags we have like all will array Sitecore added, and it's a good one, thank you. So we have also Solar init template that's tell us what's did, some additional as I mentioned, we need to put account name in a search from the search tags, deployment ID, and that's also APK that I mentioned. And these settings I put in these secrets that's located here. A customization file just combine everything together, even though it's run this init YAML. And as we can see, there is also the base init. It goes to this init and executes. That's init file. So that's, and as you can see, we have like in a Sitecore we have like search tags init image. So that's a good one that we also can run. And for this guy, let me quickly I have seems because I can misspelling. And let me just click. So you need to also kubectl apply dash key. It means customization. Also possible to apply like a one file, so that it's replace key to f parameter. So, and if we also run it, okay, it's none. It doesn't work for it now because since I know this. Let me check. Get ports. So, all right, SQL is already completed. It's a job and it's not running. It's completed. So that's we will check later. And because I commit that this stuff guy, I need to uncommit this one and commit this one, because it's this file used for both, and because we use search tags, I used another also, and this is why we need really just to not this one, sorry, this one, and we just commit. We can quickly commit, and if we just clear and run one more time, it should go. Okay, that's configured and job created. Also, if we go to the pods, we will see that it's okay. It's also just container creating. It just pull out the container, the image, and then we will run that stuff. Let's quickly jump into our cluster, and we'll check for the SAC Belarus. We have this SQL server, and so databases. And as you can see, we have this database that's previous job just done for us. So that's no need to, because at the beginning, I really was worried and asking in Slack, okay, guys, and so do I really need to spin up all database? For instance, for the XP topology, it's like, pretty, yeah, like a 10 SQL tables needs to spin up and with appropriate settings, etc., etc. So let's go further. So that's we will check later, and to shoot what's the search tags in a job. It will connect to that search tags deployment and put a collection that we need. So that's if you need a custom collection, there is also a note in a PDF file you need to apply as a module, and to add additional to create a file and put your custom collection. It will also be applied, and the schema, the base schema also will be applied. So for the certification, when you had a certificate, you need to run this the command. So I already installed it. So that's and demonstrated. We have already this certificates. It's also a addition secret type, and it needs for the TLS and SSL connection. So Ingress, we need to apply the step 10 in Ingress spec. Ingress spec, it's a part of the Ingress controller. It's the rule how we gonna configure our hosts and map to appropriate service that's for instance SaM, CD, etc. Right? So that's we need to also we have Ingress. It's a really quickly one. So that's Ingress, and also there's a configuration file. There's just some you can put some additional settings, and you have the Ingress with additional metadata, some body size, request, timeout, etc. You can put, and here in a spec we have rules. So that's we put a host, for instance, bestdemo.net, and which service I would like to tell the Kubernetes that you can connect. Service, it's just like a connection between a port and Ingress. So that's will communicate, right? So that's that I put CD, then double if I need SaM host, the SaM service ID, etc. and some other stuff. Also, we need to manage a TLS. That's we need to. I have a wildcard, so that I also can manage this certificates. That's for each host, which certificate the cluster should grab. So that's anti-customization. It's a pretty simple one. It just tell us, okay, which file, YAML file I need to grab. And for the command, we really need to apply that's the pretty the same as the others, and it's already created. And even though you can kubectl run a command kubectl get ingress, and you will see that it's okay. We have Sitecore Ingress that we managed. It's the that's we called it Sitecore Ingress, right? This one, and we have our host mapped to this port. Also, you can validate it quickly in if you go to the cluster. You also can go to the service and ingresses, and here we will see ours. For right now, we have like just that's we installed, and also we have a tab Ingress. As you can see, we default namespace. I'm not talking about today. So and the host, as we can see, and the external API that's we later. I mean that's we need to manage DNS zones, etc. to this host, for instance. So that's and let's check just quickly get ports. So that's we also see that solar init also completed. So believe me, that's the course will be there. So and we because we are the time is running out, and I need more talk. So that's let's keep it. So the next step is apply specifications specifically for the Sitecore topology. So this is the main stuff where we need to manage all specifications for each role, CD, SaM, ID, XDP, etc. So that's and we need to also to run this to deploy the specs by default. So as I mentioned, I did nothing. I only put secrets and for initial step I did nothing. It's from scratch, and I didn't change. So I just only so that's everything there is already predefined, because for CD SaM we have really many environments stuff such as
password, license, connection strings that goes from the secrets. Also the health ceiling. Ingress has a good itself health ceiling. That's the health checks, and some others are. Everything is predefined by default, so that you can just use. And this is it's combined. It's combined two specs together. Just as you can see, it's also flexible one. This one is deployment. It's kind deployment. That's tell us which container, which image. We can see here to some other stuff. And the service, it's also the name and the app, how it's called, and the ports. So, and also the same for the SaM stuff. So that's we already see the same stuff here. We see this image name by default. Q is not selected the window. That means it will be installed and delivered to the user defined as we created in Windows based node, because it's only running on Windows machines. And customization ID is the same, is for the identity and the customization, so that we can see images here. That's before we just named, and here we can put a real image name for the specific version, specific topology, and image tag. That's the Sitecore has a good pattern for to support it, and we can see that it's Sitecore 10.1 and this LTC as image versions, and the file that we need to install. So that's the last one, the last step in initial deployment. And let me just, that's pretty the easiest one, the command. And so as we can see, service created, CMCD service created, and deployment created. So that's because as right now we can check get deployment, for instance, deployment. It's a deployment. So we can see CMCD ID. It's not ready because it's just running. How many, right? So it's also the same. We can see kubectl get service. It's a services, so we called it, and the as a service, it has a cluster API. That's because a gateway, right? And so that's we have this, and get ports. It's where the container is running in general. Get ports. Kubectl. Okay, kubectl get ports. Get port. General. So that's we can see that's also new ports created, and it's not ready because container just creating right now. So it just pull out from the by default if it's not cached yet, because it just the first initial pull in. So it goes to the Sitecore public registry and grab this. So this is what we really need for the initial setup. And when we're really ready, then you need to put your hosts in a local host file, because we didn't match the real host name DNS zones, right? So, but you need to get for local hosts, and you will be ready to run the Sitecore. So and for the after the initial setup, so that's when you are really ready, when you are really deployed to Kubernetes your Sitecore topology, then you can ready to start. I would suggest you can ready to start with CI/CD. You can ready to put your settings to the Git source control, for instance. Put your custom solution, and then just start to configure CI/CD stuff. So that's for the CI/CD, we have a good picture provided by Sitecore team. That's they also has a good demo. What's in general, how it looks like. So that's we for the in Azure DevOps we can build pipelines. That's this pipeline will generally just will be triggered by source control, right? So that's inside it will get base images for we specified in a specification. We put in specifications. It's also if we have our custom layer, so it will be also put it. Then it when it's built images, new images, we push it in our own private registry, Azure registry. And then when it's ready, the release, delivery release triggered, and it will grab, it will connect to the container registry and grab the configured, the latest, for instance, image version, and deploy using rollout process. Even though without downtime, it's push to the cluster and will spin up a new container. And when this only will be ready, it will be switched to listening to this container, and the old one will be terminated. So that means it's really a good one. And, it's like a zero downtime. So this is the pretty good one. So I put like a sample from my Azure repository that I built for this meetup. So that's it's general. It contains it contains a couple commands. Just connect build images, push images, copy specifications to artifacts, and publish it. It's for the build, and when it's ready, we can trigger release. Release has like as you can see, the first one is replace tokens mechanism that the site calls just as demonstrated in its demo. So that we replace the real secrets to tokens, and then during the deployment we and real values we put. For instance, we can put in a Azure storage or just forget this. Or we can put a library, variable library in Azure DevOps, and also just configure it. I will quickly demonstrate it. So that's really time is running out. So that's as a result, you will see that we have already. I put in a secrets, not a value. I put an ID, and this ID I create in a library. I create a variable group where by using this ID I put a value, and will be secret. So and will be yeah, that's it's a good one because we do not put a real relevant information to the Git repository. So yeah, that's. And let me quickly just if we have some time. Let me quickly goes to the to this Azure DevOps. So that's as I mentioned here, this is I built like 2 pipelines, but for the first initial pipeline that I used, I can click edit, and this is also YAML file, right? That you can see what we have. So that's we have a build stage, and we have we check out our repository, and here that's the first thing we built images. So that's we can click. So we have a connection that's before configured, and then you can I built a Docker Compose build configuration file, and that's is used to build our custom images. I will show you. And then we also can manage the tags I would like to put during each build. For instance, build number, Sitecore version, and source branch, just to easily manage if we need to really to replace or to understand or to spin up environment for the quality team, etc., etc. Then when we're ready with build, we push it to our registry. It's that's we also created in Azure. Then we just copy specification files and put it in artifacts. So that's, and let me quickly go to the source control that I mentioned for the Docker build. That's build compose, pretty straightforward. So this is rules how to build our custom images, because we need to where we have, if we have a custom code, we need to put in a top layer for base Sitecore images and create our own with our own tag images and deliver to our registry. And this is how it looks like for the XAMPP part. So that's we have only XAMPP and SaM and CD. We do not need identity, because if we it's usually we don't change it. And so here that's the instruction. For instance, the action, it's a build. Also we need to put here like our own images, for instance, Docker files, right? And it's a pretty straightforward file. That's and we put with Docker Compose, we put arguments. As you can see, some of them I committed, so we don't need, for instance, JSS models, etc. And the first one is a base image. It's a registry, as you can see, that's from the public Sitecore. Then solution image, that's we would like to if we have our solution custom code, we need to put on the top of this layer, right? And for our solution, we also need to have a Docker file. That's that's a sample one. So that's for instance, we have we get an image from the Windows .NET framework. Then we put our code that we have in our source, like here I have an example. We put a source code to that image, then we have a work dir, and then we just run inside of the image, we just run the ms build command just to prepare our binaries. And and that's it will be, for instance, for this case, it will be put in an image in this folder. And later, when we build the CD or SaM image for our custom solution, so we will have our solution here also as an argument, and also for instance, we have a work dir from base image that's init-pub where we're root, as you know. And then from the solution image, we just copy everything we built from this folder to work dir. And in this case, we will have these images. So, and really, that's our time is running out. And that's, I think I need to just let me quickly show that. For the Azure, when we push this, that's this guy, yeah. This is a container registry, and here we can see our repositories, and this is our images, this custom images we built and deliver for in each Git commit. And as you can see, we have like Belarus XM1 CD, and if we select, we have like our custom tag for that's the latest. It's the good one to use, for instance, for the production. Also, we have a build number another version of that image. We have a build number, Sitecore version, and the branch main, and this is the initial one that we deployed at the beginning, and also the same for the SaM. So in this case, you can easily manage this stuff. So I think I don't have time for a demo. Just to demonstrate these pipelines, let me quickly just a couple minutes to go to the just to show the release that's I configured releases for the releases. When we have a build and we push images, we have just this model. It's an open source model that you can find out in Azure DevOps marketplace. It's called replace secrets tokens. That's because in secrets in source code we have custom tokens, and here we can tell which files we would like to replace with variables, and we can predefine token prefix, and it will go through all these files and replace it. Replaces to this guy. It's by default we can manage variables here, and we can have a group. So as you can see, I just create a demo group, and as you can see here, we have all our secrets, and also that the value is under asterisk, so that is good one. So no chance for guys just to see it, even though if you click, it's will be blank. So. And for the next step, what we need to have like a bake secrets action. What does it mean? It's make a possibility to run customization command that I just demonstrated at the beginning initially. So that's we need to bake secrets. We need to deploy it when we replace the tokens. So we have a customization path, as you know, that's this one, and it will be ready to just to combine all together. And the next command, it's like deploy to Kubernetes task. So that's it's deploy action. It's like apply command. And here we just put a connection to our Kubernetes cluster, and bake manifest we predefined here just a bake ID that will this manifest will know what really need to deploy. The next one, it's Ingress, the same stuff. The first one, it's a bake, and just put Ingress where we put a host and to deploy this. And the next one, it's specification. So that's SaM. We just put a directory in artifacts, and also we deploy it. That's it. And in general, initially, if we check, and if we will see, so that's if you go to this release, then go to the logs and see the time, it's really pretty fast, right? So that's this is also a good one. That's deployment, really fast one. So that's that's a good news. And let me just quickly check the situation. Okay, was initial deployment right now, and unfortunately the time is running out. And that's I don't think that we need to just to make an additional demo. So let's stop what have we right now and quickly jump to the, so yeah, as minimum, let me quickly demonstrate the site is there. It's real, it's there. You can, I can refresh it, and also this is from scratch, and that's what we have. So let's jump back to our presentation. So that's how to really learn this, because it's a real Kubernetes. It's it's a big one, really. It's for it's a DevOps area that we need to learn, need to know. And the Sitecore in general has Discover Sitecore YouTube channel that you can see also pretty the same that I demonstrated that Sitecore team provided the first video running Sitecore on Azure Kubernetes services. Also, that's thank you for the community, Rob. He's a good man. That's he had a talk, the first talk in this year in a virtual developer day. He demonstrated and also explained how it works, what's the Kubernetes service in Azure, and also for the second one, he also had a good topic for how to deploy. Also with also he covered blue-green deployment, as I remember, and these all videos also have in a public, so you can watch it and you can also learn it. So that's the sample that Sitecore also has. We have MVP site repository that you have also the all specifications for the cluster, for the Kubernetes, and you can really spin up the MVP, the replica of the MVP, Sitecore MVP site, official site, and it's really a good one also just to, even though inside of this repository, I skipped some stuff for the serialization, how to manage, right? Because I'm just talked about the initial deployment and configuration CI/CD process. So, but here you will see how the .NET Core based SDK used for the renderings and a Sitecore CLI used for the deployment. So there's a good one sample just to also start from scratch. And what I can suggest, really use the Visual Studio Code and install the Kubernetes extension. Let me quickly demonstrate this guy so that you can quickly visually manage Kubernetes. For instance, you can see the current cluster. You can quickly switch context for another cluster. So everything you have, even though you do not need to run the command, you will see this all stuff here, how many nodes, what we have, it's green or not, running or not, how ports. For instance, even though for the secrets, we have custom resources. No, that's not this one configuration. You have like a secret here, secrets. And even though you can like go to the Sitecore admin, yeah, that's a spec, and you will see, yeah, it's a good password. That's, we know, that's, yeah, that's, we just like to use. And so even so, yeah, everything you can also like load, you can get logs, you can attach to this container, for instance, delete, wrote your all statuses, etc. And for the Azure DevOps, it's a really good one. Let me quickly demonstrate. Oh, okay, it was deployed initially. I will not show you this. So, okay, quickly, let me go to this cluster. How, as you can see, I quickly just replay the context and kubectl get ports. This one is already that's has in our custom yeah, that's deployed through the Azure pipelines, and the good one that's for the Azure DevOps, for instance, integration. If you get information about the port, kubectl describe, this command describe, for instance, CD. Describe port CD. So the Azure DevOps put annotations. It's a good, that's really good one. Annotation, it's like a metadata, and input when it's deployed. So it's put when it was deployed. It was put information about Azure pipelines. Even though you have a link to the Azure DevOps, you have the name, you have which run and the link, so that you can quickly, if you have some issues and you would like to know, okay, when it was deployed, you can quickly go to this annotation, it's metadata, and just get it, everything. So that's we have in there. So and it seems that's it. Only one thing that I faced really, if you are using Docker, standard Docker Windows 2 desktop tool, just make sure that you uncheck experimental features, because some stuff will not work, and because experimental is not good one. Yeah, that's just make sure that you uncheck it. So, and if you have any questions, please, seems, I don't know, it's really, it's a late a bit, but even so, you can reach out to me in a Slack, Twitter, so that's on a GitHub, you can contribute my modules, and you can send me an email, so whatever you would like. So that's, yeah, I'm open, really. So that's it for right now. You are not sleeping?
Thank you, Vadim. That was a lot of information.
Yeah. Agree. So where is the teams? Okay, yeah, that's a really huge topic, and that's better probably make a workshop than just to, yeah. But anyway, thank you just for listening to me, and yeah, really glad to demonstrate, and I will share later slides, and also yeah, probably put in a GitHub my just change it that I put just for the, you can try for the scratch from the scratch. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you everyone for joining us, for presenting. See you next time. Probably it will be soon.
Yeah.
I think we already have a couple of presentations for the next meetup. We'll keep you posted. Thank you and bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.